Imagine waking up every day feeling in control, energized, and purposeful. Imagine accomplishing more in a day than most do in a week. What if I told you there is one habit that can transform your productivity, not just for a week or a month, but for a lifetime? The habit is deceptively simple, yet profoundly effective. You're starting your day with clarity and intention. It's not about waking up early, checking emails first, or multitasking. It's about understanding what truly matters and aligning your actions with that purpose. Productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most efficiently. Every morning before your mind gets drowned in notifications, before your day gets hijacked by other people's priorities, take a moment to ask yourself, what is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This question refocuses your energy. It forces you to prioritize what actually moves the needle. When you make this a habit, a remarkable thing happens. Your brain starts working with you instead of against you. You stop reacting and start acting. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become manageable because you approach them with intention. You realize that productivity is not about being busy, it's about being purposeful. Clarity leads to focus. Focus leads to momentum. Momentum, when maintained consistently, creates results. And here's the crucial part: the habit of starting your day with intention doesn't just impact your work, it transforms your mindset. You stop wasting energy on trivial distractions. You stop feeling like the day is controlling you. Instead, you take ownership of your time, and your time becomes your greatest asset. This habit is powerful because it's adaptable. Whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a leader, or anyone striving to achieve more, it works. It doesn't require expensive tools or complicated strategies. It requires a few quiet minutes, a notebook or a digital device, and the courage to reflect. Ask yourself what matters, commit to your focus, and let the rest follow. The people who accomplish extraordinary things don't do so because they work harder than everyone else. They do so because they start their day with purpose. They know that productivity isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things at the right time. And when you master this one habit, the results compound. Your energy, focus, and output multiply. So don't chase endless to-do lists. Don't let distractions dictate your life. Begin with clarity. Begin with intention. Make it a daily ritual. And watch how this one habit can skyrocket your productivity in ways you never imagined. 5 keynotes of the speech: start your day with clarity and intention. Identify what truly matters before distractions take over. Prioritize what moves the needle. Focus on tasks that create the most significant impact. Transform reaction into action. Intentional mornings lead to focused, deliberate efforts. Consistency compounds results. Small, daily, intentional actions produce extraordinary outcomes over time. Productivity is purpose-driven. Real productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things efficiently. Starting your day with clarity and intention is one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate, yet it is so often overlooked. Most people wake up and immediately react to the world around them, checking notifications, emails, or social media, and allowing the day to dictate their priorities. They jump from task to task without a clear understanding of what actually matters. Productivity in its truest sense does not come from being busy. It comes from knowing where to direct your energy. When you begin your day with a clear focus, you set the tone for everything that follows. It's like setting a compass before embarking on a journey. Without it, you may be moving, but you will not necessarily be moving in the direction that leads to meaningful results. The act of starting your day intentionally is simple, but it requires discipline. It begins with asking yourself one crucial question: what is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This question forces you to step back and assess the importance of your tasks. It pushes you to distinguish between what is urgent and what is truly significant. Urgent tasks demand attention because they scream for it, but they are not always the ones that drive progress. Important tasks, on the other hand, are often quiet and deliberate, yet they have the power to create momentum and long-term impact. When you start your day with clarity, you give yourself the ability to prioritize importance over urgency, and this is where true productivity begins. Clarity does not just help you decide what to do, it shapes how you approach your tasks. When you know your purpose for the day, your energy becomes focused and precise. You stop wasting mental resources on trivial distractions, on reacting impulsively to the endless stream of information and requests that arrive each morning. Instead, your actions are deliberate. You can allocate your time to what truly matters, and you can measure your progress in a meaningful way. Without clarity, you may complete a long list of tasks and still feel as though nothing significant was accomplished. But with clarity, even a few well-chosen actions can produce extraordinary results. The habit of starting the day with intention also strengthens your mental resilience. Life is unpredictable and interruptions are inevitable. Meetings, messages, and emergencies will appear, but when you begin your day with a clear focus, you have an anchor. You know what matters most, and you can return to it after every distraction. This creates a sense of control and reduces stress. When your mind is clear, you are less likely to be reactive or overwhelmed. You act with purpose even in the face of chaos. This is the difference between simply surviving a day and intentionally shaping it. Another benefit of starting your day with clarity is that it aligns your daily actions with your long-term goals. It is easy to get caught in the trap of immediate gratification, completing tasks that feel productive but contribute little to your bigger picture. Intentional mornings help bridge the gap between daily routines and larger ambitions. Each day becomes a stepping stone, each action a deliberate contribution to the future you are building. Clarity ensures that your time and energy are invested in meaningful outcomes rather than scattered across trivialities. To cultivate this habit, it can be as simple as taking 5 to 10 minutes each morning to reflect. Write down your top priorities, visualize the outcomes you want to achieve, and commit to focusing on them before anything else. This small ritual has a compounding effect over time. Days, weeks, and months of intentional beginnings lead to significant growth and achievement. It trains your mind to recognize what matters, to reject distractions, and to channel energy with purpose. Over time, it becomes second nature, and your productivity is no longer a matter of chance, but a result of deliberate choice. Clarity and intention are not abstract concepts. They are practical tools that transform the way you work. They help you conserve energy, sharpen focus, and maximize the impact of your actions. By starting each day with a clear understanding of what matters and a commitment to pursue it, you create a structure for success. The habit itself is simple, yet the results are profound. It is a practice that requires no external resources, no complicated systems, and no extraordinary effort. Only the willingness to pause, reflect, and choose your direction before the world begins to pull you in every possible way. Prioritizing what truly moves the needle is one of the most important skills you can develop if you want to maximize your productivity and make a real impact. Most people confuse activity with progress. They fill their days with countless tasks, meetings, and obligations, believing that being busy equals being productive. But business alone rarely leads to meaningful results. The key is not doing everything, it is doing the right things, those few tasks that have the power to drive the most significant outcomes. When you learn to identify these tasks and give them priority, you stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward in a purposeful way. The challenge is that not all tasks are created equal. Some are urgent, demanding immediate attention, but they may have little lasting value. Others are important, but they can be easily postponed or overlooked in favor of minor, time-consuming distractions. The skill of prioritization is about discerning between these tasks and recognizing which ones have the potential to create momentum, open opportunities, or bring you closer to your goals. When you focus on high-impact activities, you ensure that your effort produces meaningful results rather than dissipating into unproductive business. Prioritization requires clarity, which is why it is closely linked to the habit of starting your day with intention. Once you have a clear understanding of your purpose and your top objectives, you can evaluate every task against those criteria. Ask yourself, does this task move me closer to my goals? Does it have a significant impact on the outcomes I want to achieve? If the answer is no, it can either be delegated, delayed, or eliminated entirely. This simple question transforms the way you approach your workload. It allows you to focus on the few tasks that matter most rather than being overwhelmed by the many that don't. When you prioritize effectively, your productivity is not measured by the number of items checked off your to-do list, but by the value of what you accomplish. Completing a single high-impact task can often be more valuable than completing 10 smaller, less meaningful ones. This is because the effects of these high-value tasks compound over time. They create opportunities, reduce future obstacles, and accelerate progress toward your larger goals. By focusing on the tasks that truly matter, you are not just working harder, you are working smarter, ensuring that your efforts produce results that ripple beyond the present moment. Prioritization also enhances your mental energy and focus. When your day is cluttered with low-impact tasks, your mind is constantly switching between activities, and this fragmentation drains energy and reduces effectiveness. By concentrating on what moves the needle, you reduce distractions and create the space for deep, focused work. You can approach most important tasks with creativity, clarity, and confidence rather than rushing through them under pressure. This leads to higher quality outcomes and greater satisfaction with the work you produce. Another benefit of prioritizing high-impact tasks is that it builds momentum. When you accomplish something meaningful, it fuels motivation and confidence. This momentum makes it easier to tackle subsequent challenges and encourages consistency in performance. Over time, the habit of focusing on what matters most creates a cycle of achievement. Clarity leads to focus, focus leads to results, and results reinforce the habit of intentional prioritization. The small daily decisions you make about what to prioritize accumulate into remarkable progress over weeks, months, and years. Learning to prioritize also means becoming comfortable with saying no. Saying no is not about being negative or unhelpful. It is about protecting your time and an energy for the work that matters most. Every yes to a low-value task is a no to something of higher significance. When you recognize this trade-off, you begin to take control of your schedule and shape it around what truly drives your success. Prioritization is a practice of intentionality, self-awareness, and courage, and it is one of the most effective ways to ensure that your efforts have a lasting impact. Ultimately, prioritizing what moves the needle transforms the way you live and work. It shifts the focus from being busy to being effective, from reacting to planning, and from fragmented effort to meaningful progress. By consistently identifying and acting on the tasks that matter most, you maximize your potential, achieve more with less wasted effort, and create a life that is aligned with your highest priorities. Productivity is no longer a matter of chance or circumstance. It becomes a deliberate practice rooted in clarity, focus, and intentional action. Transforming reaction into action is one of the most powerful shifts you can make to dramatically improve your productivity and effectiveness. Most people spend the majority of their days reacting to external stimuli, emails, notifications, urgent requests, or unexpected problems. This reactive approach leaves little room for intentional work and often results in stress, inefficiency, and the feeling that the day has been wasted. True productivity, however, comes from taking control of your responses and turning them into deliberate, purposeful action. It is about choosing how to respond rather than being driven by circumstances. Reaction is natural. When something urgent appears on your radar, your instinct is to respond immediately. A message pings and you feel compelled to answer. A colleague requests help and you drop your current task to comply. These moments of reaction create the illusion of productivity because you are busy, but they rarely contribute to your highest priority goals. Action, on the other hand, is intentional. It is grounded in purpose and aligned with what you have determined matters most. When you transform reaction into action, you regain control of your time, energy, and focus. The first step in this transformation is awareness. You must recognize when you are reacting rather than acting. This requires mindfulness and reflection. Pause for a moment when something demands your attention and ask yourself, is this urgent or is it important? Does responding to this advance my goals, or is it merely filling a moment with activity? This pause may seem small, but it creates a space for conscious choice. Over time, this habit trains your mind to shift from automatic responses to deliberate action. Once you are aware, the next step is to plan your response. Action is not impulsive, it is strategic. When faced with a task, question, or request, consider how it fits into your priorities. Can it be scheduled for later? Can it be delegated? Does it directly contribute to your key objectives? By asking these questions, you move from being at the mercy of events to orchestrating your day with intention. This doesn't mean ignoring urgent matters altogether. It means addressing them in a way that aligns with your purpose rather than letting them dictate your schedule. Transforming reaction into action also means adopting a proactive mindset. Instead of waiting for problems or opportunities to appear, anticipate what is likely to require your attention and prepare for it. This could involve setting aside focused blocks of time to handle emails, planning your week around high-impact tasks, establishing routines that minimize distractions. Proactivity allows you to direct your energy toward meaningful work before the demands of the day take control. It builds a sense of mastery over your environment and reduces the constant stress of being pulled in multiple directions. An important aspect of this habit is prioritizing deep work. When you act intentionally, you create the conditions necessary for focused, uninterrupted effort on tasks that require concentration and skill. Deep work is where transformation happens. Shallow reactive tasks, checking messages, answering low-priority requests, or constantly switching between activities consume energy and fragment attention. Action allows you to protect your focus, invest in meaningful outcomes, and accomplish more in less time. Another key benefit of shifting from reaction to action is that it enhances decision-making. When you react, decisions are often emotional or impulsive. Action, however, is informed and deliberate. It considers consequences, aligns with goals, and maximizes the impact of effort. The more consistently you practice this shift, the sharper your judgment becomes, and the more effective your responses are across every area of life. Transforming reaction into action also cultivates confidence. When you are no longer at the mercy of external forces, you develop a sense of ownership over your day. You feel empowered because you are making intentional choices rather than being swept along by circumstances. This empowerment fuels motivation and creates a cycle of productive momentum. Each deliberate action reinforces the habit, making it easier to maintain focus and resist distractions in the future. Ultimately, the ability to turn reaction into action is a cornerstone of high productivity. It allows you to operate from a place of purpose rather than pressure, to focus on what truly matters and to produce results that have lasting impact. By consistently practicing awareness, strategic response, and proactive planning, you shift from being reactive to being deliberate. This shift transforms not only the way you work, but the way you experience your day, making every action intentional, every choice meaningful, and every effort count toward your goals. Consistency is often underestimated, yet it is the secret ingredient behind extraordinary results. Many people focus on bursts of effort, expecting that occasional moments of high energy or sudden inspiration will lead to meaningful achievement. The truth is, real progress does not come from sporadic action. It comes from the disciplined, repeated efforts that build over time. When you commit to consistent action, even small steps taken daily, the results compound in ways that are both powerful and surprising. Productivity is not about occasional brilliance. It is about persistent, reliable effort. The principle is simple but profound. Small, intentional actions repeated consistently create momentum that grows exponentially. Consider someone who dedicates just 30 minutes every day to learning a new skill. The first week may feel insignificant. The first month may feel slow. But by the third or fourth month, the results are noticeable. Knowledge accumulates, skill improves, and confidence grows. The compounding effect is invisible at first, but its impact is unstoppable. In the same way, consistent focus on high-priority tasks leads to mastery, progress, and ultimately significant achievement. Consistency also fosters habits, and habits shape outcomes. Every decision you make, every action you take, contributes to the patterns that define your life. When you consistently act with intention and purpose, productivity becomes second nature. It is no longer about pushing yourself to get things done. It becomes about creating systems and routines that automatically move you closer to your goals. The challenge is not in understanding what to do. It is in showing up day after day and committing to the process even when motivation wanes. Motivation is fleeting, but consistency is reliable. It does not depend on your mood or energy level. It is a deliberate choice you make repeatedly. Another benefit of consistent effort is trust in yourself, and in the process, when you commit to regular action, you begin to trust that your efforts will produce results over time. You gain confidence in your ability to follow through, and this confidence fuels further action. Consistency also builds credibility with others. Whether in a team, an organization, or a personal endeavor, people notice when someone consistently delivers, follows through, and maintains focus on what matters. This trust, both internal and external, amplifies the impact of your work. Consistency is particularly powerful when applied to incremental improvement. Small improvements repeated daily lead to significant growth over time. The key is not perfection in a single moment, but steady progress. Each day provides an opportunity to refine, adjust, and improve. The compounding effect of consistent improvement is transformative. By focusing on small, manageable actions and committing to them every day, you avoid the trap of overwhelming yourself while still moving toward ambitious goals. Consistency also strengthens resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Without consistent action, obstacles can derail progress and create frustration. With consistency, however, you develop the mental and emotional endurance to persist through setbacks. Each day of effort reinforces the habit, making it easier to continue despite difficulties. Momentum builds, and the more consistently you act, the more natural it becomes to stay focused, disciplined, and motivated even in challenging circumstances. It is important to recognize that consistency does not mean rigidity. It is not about mindlessly repeating actions without reflection. True consistency involves intentional repetition of high-impact behaviors, informed by clarity and purpose. It requires regular assessment to ensure that your actions remain aligned with your goals. By combining intentionality with persistence, you create a powerful engine for growth and achievement. Ultimately, consistency compounds results because it turns effort into progress and progress into achievement. The small, deliberate actions you take every day accumulate over time, producing outcomes far greater than what is possible through sporadic bursts of activity. By committing to consistency, you harness the power of compounding, develop habits that support long-term success, strengthen your resilience, and build trust in yourself and others. Consistent action transforms potential into reality and intention into tangible results. Productivity is often misunderstood. Many believe it is measured by how much you do, how busy your schedule looks, or how many tasks you can check off in a day. The truth is, real productivity is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things with purpose and intention. Purpose-driven productivity transforms the way you approach work, decisions, and life itself. It creates alignment between your actions and your larger goals, ensuring that every effort you invest leads to meaningful results rather than wasted energy. Purpose-driven productivity begins with clarity about what matters most. It requires taking a step back from the endless stream of daily tasks and asking a fundamental question: why am I doing this? When you understand the purpose behind your work, each action becomes a deliberate choice rather than a reaction to circumstances. This awareness allows you to prioritize tasks that align with your goals and values while filtering out distractions that do not contribute to your desired outcomes. Productivity, in this sense, is no longer a matter of speed or volume. It becomes a reflection of intentionality and direction. When productivity is guided by purpose, it changes the way you allocate your time and energy. Instead of spreading yourself thin across countless low-impact activities, you focus on the few tasks that have the power to create the most significant impact. These are the tasks that move the needle, drive progress, and produce results that matter. Purpose-driven productivity helps you recognize that not all actions are equal, and it gives you the confidence to invest your effort where it counts most. It is a mindset that shifts the focus from being busy to being effective, from reacting to acting strategically. Purpose-driven productivity also fuels motivation. When your actions are aligned with a clear purpose, you feel a sense of meaning and fulfillment in what you do. Tasks that might otherwise feel tedious or overwhelming become manageable because they are connected to a larger vision. This intrinsic motivation sustains focus and effort, even when external rewards are delayed or challenges arise. People who work with purpose rarely struggle with engagement or drive because their actions are informed by clarity and commitment. Another crucial aspect of purpose-driven productivity is decision-making. Every choice you make, from prioritizing tasks to allocating time, is guided by the question of purpose. Should I spend an hour on this task, or will that hour yield greater results if invested elsewhere? Should I say yes to this opportunity, or does it distract from my larger goals? By framing decisions through the lens of purpose, you create a filter that protects your time, energy, and focus. This approach reduces wasted effort, minimizes regret, and maximizes the value of your actions. Purpose-driven productivity is not about perfection or rigidity. It is about alignment and intentionality. It requires reflection, self-awareness, and occasional course correction. Your goals may evolve. Circumstances may change and priorities may shift, but the principle remains the same. Every action should serve a meaningful purpose. This approach ensures that your efforts consistently contribute to growth, achievement, and fulfillment. Over time, purpose-driven productivity compounds, producing outcomes that far exceed what could be achieved through aimless business. Furthermore, productivity that is rooted in purpose creates a sense of ownership and accountability. When you understand why you are doing something, you take full responsibility for the results. You no longer blame circumstances, distractions, or other people for your lack of progress. Purpose gives you the power to focus on what you can control, to act decisively, and to maintain consistency even when obstacles arise. It transforms productivity from an external measure of output to an internal measure of effectiveness and impact. Ultimately, purpose-driven productivity is about more than just efficiency. It is about significance. It ensures that your time, energy, and effort are invested in what truly matters rather than squandered on trivial or inconsequential tasks. It aligns your daily actions with your long-term vision, creating momentum, progress, and meaningful results. By making purpose the foundation of your productivity, you unlock the ability to achieve more, contribute more, and experience greater fulfillment. Every task becomes intentional, every effort meaningful, and every accomplishment a reflection of clarity, focus, and purpose. As we've explored today, skyrocketing your productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what truly matters with clarity, intention, and purpose. It begins with starting your day intentionally, taking control of your time before distractions take control of you. It continues by prioritizing the tasks that move the needle, focusing your energy on what creates the greatest impact. Transforming reaction into action allows you to shift from being controlled by circumstances to taking deliberate steps toward your goals. Consistency compounds results, turning small, daily efforts into extraordinary achievements over time. And above all, productivity is purpose-driven. When your actions are aligned with your larger vision, every effort gains meaning and momentum. The power of these habits lies not in their complexity, but in their simplicity and consistency. Each principle reinforces the other, creating a cycle of focus, discipline, and meaningful action. By committing to clarity, prioritization, deliberate action, consistency, and purpose, you take control of your day, your work, and ultimately, your life. The results are not instant, but they are inevitable. Small, intentional choices made daily lead to exponential growth, extraordinary achievements, and a sense of fulfillment that business alone can never provide. So, take this one habit and make it the cornerstone of your productivity. Begin each day with intention, focus on what truly matters, act deliberately, stay consistent, and let purpose guide your every move. When you do, you will discover that productivity is not a distant goal. It is a way of living. You will accomplish more, contribute more, and create a life that reflects the power of deliberate, purpose-driven action. The choice is yours. Begin today and watch how one habit can transform everything.